Hi friends, I am currently outside of a greenhouse. It's Fort Thomas greenhouse in Kentucky area. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can find some soil to put in one of my green stalks. So I haven't quite mastered the art of talking to my camera in front of a bunch of random people, and there are tons of people here today because it is beautiful out. So I will try to get some clips of potential mix of soils that I could get. I'm hoping to find something that is good. We'll see what they have. It is tomato city in this place. Well, peppers too, but so many tomatoes. Okay, so there weren't a ton of options when it came to soil mixes or, potting mix or a potting soil. That is what Greenstalk recommends, is a potting mix or a potting soil. So I got a potting mix. I got Pro Mix. There was a 20-pound bag, which is like 2 cubic feet. When it comes to the Greenstalk leaf, which is a smaller pocket, each pocket carries about 0.75 cubic feet. These bags are 2 cubic feet. So I got 2 bags. I may be a little short, maybe a little over. I have some compost that I can go ahead and put in the bottom of each layer of that Greenstalk if I need to fill it up a little bit more. So it's not a big deal, but keep that in mind when you're shopping for soil. Check to see how much it is on the bag, and you're gonna need to do a little bit of math. So let's go ahead and head home. I've got my 2 bags, and I'm excited to get this Greenstalk up and going, because this Greenstalk will be the medicinal plant Greenstalk in my garden this year, and I am so excited for it. Hi friends, it has been a handful of days later, and it's actually Mother's Day today. So happy Mother's Day to all of you. Although I think I have a video that I'm going to be publishing today. This might not come out for a little bit. I have a handful of projects that I'm doing, but today we are finishing up the Greenstalk. So I have my Greenstalk still in box, and I have 2 bags of 2 cubic feet per bag of a Pro Mix potting mix for this Greenstalk. So this Greenstalk is actually my medicinal herb stock, which I'm going to be dubbing it. I've never grown medicinal herbs. I've never grown medicinal herbs in a Greenstalk. Pretty much my limits to what I've grown in a Greenstalk are like sweet peas, herbs, and strawberries. This year I am venturing out into medicinal herbs, as well as growing some tomatoes in my original Greenstalk. This one I have here is a leaf. So let me get you guys set up so I can go ahead and show you all of its parts. Okay, so my Greenstalk that I got is the leaf version, so that's that shallower pocket. The Greenstalk is included. The cool thing is that it is a self-watering system. You still have to add water, but you're adding water to this very top disc, and then it just evenly distributes all of that water to all of the bottom layers. Pull those guys out. So these guys are the shallower pockets. They are a 5-tier system, so there are 5 layers to this guy. And they do a really nifty thing of kind of buckling onto one another. So if I get this set up properly, So each layer gets this little watering disc. It just sits snugly on this little center portion here. And then we take the next layer, and it has like these little hooks. And these sit right on top of these little corners. And it is a lot easier once it's filled with soil because it will sit really nice and snug. So every pocket's kind of off-centered here. And then once you get to the very top, you'll put this top layer here. You fill up this watering reservoir in the top, and then it just kind of soaks down to all the layers, all the different pockets evenly. The main thing that you have to remember when you're setting up your Greenstalk is putting it on a level surface. So if you put it on a surface that is like this, these pockets that are on the lower part of this are going to get more of the water or all of the water versus those that are on higher ground. So if you make sure it's nice and level, I like to put like a piece of board on the top of this, and then your phone actually has like a little level on it. You can also use like an actual level that has like the little bubble inside the water. But I use my phone because it's what I have. You put the board on top, and then you put your phone on top, and it'll tell you if it's level or not. And then you can kind of just adjust from there. My back drive here, where I have lots of concrete, is not very level. There are lots of dips and grooves and a little bit of everything in between. So I am gonna have to play around a little bit with where it's going to be sitting. I do need to move my other Greenstalk, my first Greenstalk, just a tiny bit because one section is sitting just a little lower than another section. So it's not watering as evenly as it should be, and the big plus of this Greenstalk is that it does that for you. So let's get this into the garden. Let's fill up a couple layers or all of the layers with soil, and then try to figure out where I'm going to place this guy. Have our Greenstalk pieces. We're gonna go ahead and fill at least 3 of the tiers, maybe even all 5 of the tiers, with some soil, and then we're gonna go ahead and see where we're gonna move this around to make it level. I'm thinking I want it right above or right before my 2 arches. I think that'd be kind of pretty. Plus I have a 7-tier leaf right here, and they are the same color. I think that'll just kind of balance it out nicely. So this is currently where I'm thinking this guy right here is where the 5 tier is going to go. And I'm going to have to move this guy because right now he is sitting kind of at a slant. I do have him on some bricks. I may take him off the bricks. Not sure just yet. But I might move him a few feet in just to kind of give it a nice and even feel. It's not going to be totally even because this guy's 7 tiers and this one's going to be 5. But he needs to be more level because he's not quite there. But we'll see what this looks like once we're all said and done. So I'm going to be filling these guys with my Pro Mix potting mix. There is one thing that you guys need to make sure when filling these. Since this soil is so loamy and like soft, it will settle a whole bunch. So on the Greenstalks, they even put a little reminder to fill the soil to the very top. You fill it to the top because it will settle. Let's see if we can get this guy open. So I've heard of people who they will go ahead and refresh the soil every year. So they'll add new soil, take out the old soil, put in new soil. I've heard of people who just top it with some fresh compost or some fresh loamy like potting mix. I, over the past few years with this first Greenstalk that I have, I've just topped it with compost because it does settle a lot when you pull plants out, and the plants that are surviving during the season will drain a lot of the nutrients. So this one I've topped with compost. That's probably what I'll continue to do, but it's really up to you guys. And it is a really good idea to fertilize your Greenstalks throughout the season, just because they only have so many nutrients available to them. So I'll probably use like a liquid fertilizer, because that'd probably be the easiest way to distribute all of this. Okay, so I have all 5 tiers filled with soil. I left a little room just because I know I am gonna have some soil in my starts. So I'm gonna probably have to dig out some of this. So the next step after having this filled, I broke up all the chunks, is to go ahead and put on our little watering discs. So the water will funnel down, and then these little holes distribute water to each pocket, making sure everything's nice and evenly watered. I might decide to plant things out. No, I was gonna say I might decide to plant things in them while they're all separated like this, because it will be easier. But my concern is I don't know exactly where I'm putting this quite yet, so that it's level. So maybe I'll just wait until after I get it leveled, and then I'll go ahead and, you know, plan it out. So I'm gonna start stacking things on top of this one and see how level it is. I got you guys set up on my other Greenstalk, so hopefully it stays there. So I'm gonna take this layer here and plop it on top of my bottom layer, or hopefully my bottom layer. All right. This is fairly easy until you get to the very top layer and it gets a little heavy. I did have a harder time with my original Greenstalk because the pockets are deeper, which means it holds more soil. And plus I wasn't using potting mix that was nice and fluffy. I was using my soil and compost mix. We'll see how that works out. Hopefully it works pretty okay. Loki, you're fine. My Greenstalk is all filled up and pretty level. I put the board on top to put my phone up here to get a better reading, and it's only about a degree off, not perfectly level, but as close as I can get it on my concrete that is definitely not level. So I went ahead and I grabbed all of my medicinal herbs. I also have my chamomile, which is looking so good. I have some echinacea. These are calendula, wild bergamot, St. John's wort, motherwort. I have 2 of those. Those are going freaking crazy. Gobo burdock, which I don't think I'm going to be planting in this because it is majority of a medicinal herb that you harvest the roots from. So I don't know that having it in these shallower pockets will do it much good. So I might plant it off in my garden somewhere, or I might put it in my front garden. And then I have my Alcampane. Yes, as good as it's gonna get. And then I've got, what is it, skullcap. 2 of those guys look super good, or at least as good as they're gonna get. And then I have some catnip, and then this is the toothache plant, which I'm kind of excited about. It is already starting to put off little blossoms. And then of course the hoary hound, which has seen better days. I think it's way past the time I should have planted it. So we're gonna see how far we can get with planting out all of these varieties. I know there's at least one variety of medicinal herb that did not do well with seed starting, and I don't know if it was just because he didn't get enough light, he didn't get the right kind of soil. I think it was called wormwood, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to go back through all my seed packets and see what I'm missing. But we can also plant out some herbs and some other little things. But so far, I'm super excited about this. This is gonna be really cool. In years to come, when I actually have my own land, I really would love to have an established medicinal garden in ground. But for now, Greenstalk is providing a space that works well enough for what I have right now. All right, so it's pretty much planted out. There are a few empty spots here and there that I'll go ahead and fill in with some seeds or flowers. But I've got my motherwort, some chamomile, echinacea, wild bergamot, some more chamomile, and another echinacea, followed by catnip, toothache plant, or the yellow toothache plant, calendula. I think this is my skullcap. Yep. And then we got another toothache plant, St. John's wort, another skullcap, Alcampane, hoary hound, and then more Alcampane. I put in a nasturtium and it got a little friend from when I was seeding. I think that is either oregano. I think it's oregano. Some catnip, another motherwort, another nasturtium, and a last Alcampane. So I've got a few empty spots, but not too bad. I'm gonna go ahead and fill this guy up to the brim on this top tier just fill it up to the top with some good water, and then let everything just trickle down and feed all these plants. I am all finished with this Greenstalk for today. So thank you guys for joining me. I'll go ahead and post a video up here for you to enjoy until the next upload. But until then, thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.